It takes a lot of guts to operate as a general manager the way that Eric Tulsky operates as a general manager. And that's not just in one avenue, right? That's not just in one part of the job. The trades he's made have been fearless. Trading for Mikko Rantanen without a commitment from Rantanen on a long-term extension when you made the deal, bold. Trading away Mikko Rantanen like 6 weeks later, and knowing that the ridicule and or over analysis of everything that went into that situation is coming your way, bold. Takes a little bit of guts, a little bit of intestinal fortitude. The contracts he's been able to negotiate. The trades, the trading for Keandre Miller and simply saying, I think he's going to be a lot better with us than he was with the Rangers, and we'll pay him like it. We could go on and on and on. Even going back to when he was an advisor with Waddell, some stuff that's a little bit bold. And then something like the Jackson Blake contract hits in the middle of the night like a week ago. Jackson Blake was a rookie this past year. Played well. As far as great rookie seasons go, Dennis, what are we talking? Like he had like a solid
B.
Yeah, solid 80. I was going to say 83 if you're given out of 100 grades, like a solid season. But most GMs are going to go, let's see what he does, right? We got him on an entry-level contract for another year. Let's see what he does. Some may say, let's try to get him on one of those 4 or 5 year deals, right? Let's lock him in, but let's also make sure if it goes south, we're not in too much trouble. Eric Tulsky goes, 8-year extension now, because we're only allowed to give 7-year extensions next year, and we want this dude locked in. And that right there is inherently a bit gutsy. If it goes south, like we all do it, right? If a player starts playing poorly, you look at the contract, oh my goodness, we still have him for 3 more years. Imagine if it goes poorly. I don't think it will, but imagine if it does, and you look at the contract and go, "We got him another 7 years. It's got him until my 4-year-old son now is knocking on the door of high school." That's how long Jackson Blake is going to be a Cane, or at least how long the contract is. And Eric Tulsky understands the risk of getting a deal done early. When he spoke to the media earlier today, he said as much.
Doing it early is a little bit of a transfer of risk from the player to the team, right? All the risk that he gets hurt, something goes wrong, whatever, is now our risk instead of his. And that's something that is helpful to a player who only has one career and only one contract. But to the team, we've got a bunch of these now. And, we're sort of the opinion that if we kind of aggregate that risk and, have a lot of players who we're comfortable making bets on, yeah, 1 or 2 of them, something's going to go wrong. On the whole, we're going to come out ahead by staying aggressive and putting ourselves in position to get things done and keep our core locked up and leave ourselves room to keep adding around them.
Here's the deal there, okay? I'm going to try to, and Dennis, correct me if this is if this isn't how you took what you just heard from Eric Tulsky. To me, it's like if every deal we anticipate being like a $4 million added value, we're going to get $4 million of good deal, and we have 5 of them, which would equal $20 million of extra value. One of them could actually be a bust and cost us $5 million, and we're still coming out $15 million in the positive, right? We're still like, if every deal has this inherent built-in kind of value that they see, they will be so far in the positive that a few negatives won't hurt them, which is good. I mean, there's a reason why he is who he is. There's a reason why they're thinking the way they are. I would also open up the possibility of, and this is like the optimist in me, open up the possibility that they hit, right? Because that's when you end up, and I know nobody wants to hear these kind of words, and it's a big if, like 6, 7, 8 things have to fall your way. But if these deals, the Jackson Blake deal, the Seth Jarvis deal, the Jacob Slavin deal, the Nikolai Ehlers deal, the Aho deal, if these deals continue to look like great values and the players continue to take the steps that I think a lot of people anticipate them taking, if there aren't the one or two that turn into an anchor on the franchise, look the heck out. Because then you're for every dollar spent, you're getting $4 of value back on darn near the entire roster. So it is insulating yourself against one or two mistakes by signing so many of these long-term deals, but it's also opening up to you, what if they all go well? That's like a movie or television show therapy thing, right? Everybody always wants to say, what if it goes wrong? Well, let yourself wonder, what if it goes right? If Eric Tulsky's sitting there going, what if 2 or 3 of these go bad? Will we still like where our roster is? I think we would. And I'm sitting there going, what if all 6 or 7 of them just continue to develop and you got them on these long-term deals? Now suddenly your championship window is wide open. And that's basically what he says here in different terms. The team being built to win now and having the core locked up long-term is a good spot to be. Here's more from Tulsky.
12 players who are signed for at least 4 years. And, those players represent 65% of our scoring from last year, plus Ehlers and Miller added on to that. So we've got a core here that's, that is really solid. And the other thing about it, those 12 players are an average age of only 26 years old. So part of what we've done here, we've put ourselves in position where we know we're not going to have our core eroded by the salary cap because we've got the players signed and in place. We know it's not going to be eroded by age because they're not at a place where we worry about that yet. And we put ourselves in position to keep adding, and we have room to keep finding ways to bring more players in and keep building on this. And that's a rare opportunity for a team that's as good as we are and as good as we've been for as long as we have. To keep having room to take steps forward is an opportunity that I'm really excited about.
Oh, don't tempt me, Tulsky. Don't tempt me, Tulsky. Is everybody thinking the same thing? Second line center and goalie, right? You're telling me you still have purchase power? You still have room to add? Well, you look, you got Ehlers. You don't need wings. You got Miller. You don't need defensemen. Second line center and goalie, right? If you got the money, if you got the cash, now you just have to wait for the market. Jump to the last clip here. Eric Tulsky loves the way the team looks, but again, he's tempting me. He's still looking to explore. Here's Tulsky.
I think we have a great team the way it's currently constructed. I think we're always trying to get better, and we have the cap space to keep adding. We have future assets we can put into deals. Whether there's something that comes available before the season, during the season, I don't know. We will be on the hunt to see if we can find ways to make the team better. It's just a question whether that ends up coming together or not.
He's on the hunt.
He's cooking, man.
We need like the Jaws music. Dun, 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 dun. He's on the hunt. I mean, it truly is. Like the detractors are always going to be there when you look at the Canes, right? There are simply those analysts and hockey fans that they aren't in on the players the Canes are building around, right? They just aren't Sebastian Aho believers. They aren't Seth Jarvis truthers, right? And if you're not there, you're not going to be there. But if you, like Rod Brind'amour and Eric Tulsky, believe in those guys as leaders of this core, the sky truly is the limit with the way their contracts are lined up. And also, the cap is going up. The longer term the deal, the more at the end it's going to seem, quite frankly, like a fraction of how much it feels right now. Right? Do you remember when, and I'm always using football salary cap stuff as kind of, even though it's not the exact same. Do you remember when Patrick Mahomes signed his deal? 10 years, $450 million. And the world went nuts. Oh, the Chiefs, how are they going to? Well, guess what? Guess what? There's still a decent amount of term left on that contract, and there are a boatload of quarterbacks that aren't anywhere near Patrick Mahomes' level that are making way more than he is making. simply because the cap keeps rising and they put enough term on it. Now, what if that deal didn't start as a market-setting deal? What if that deal started as pretty reasonable? And you still get the benefit of the term and the rising cap to make it feel smaller. That's what a lot of these deals are getting with the Carolina Hurricanes. The Athletic put out a list of the 10 best contracts in the league as far as their perceived value analytically. Seth Jarvis had the third best contract in the league. Third best. They gave it a 100%, which I'm always nervous of hundreds and zeros when it comes to projections. But they gave it a 100%, technically 99.7, but they rounded up. 100% chance of returning positive value. They gave Seth Jarvis a 100% chance at bringing more value to the team on his current contract than he's being paid. Do you think 6 years from now, when he's still under contract, that deal isn't going to feel good? Jacob Slavin should have been on the list of 10 best contracts in the NHL. Same deal. It's a steal right now, and it's only going to age better. Are there a couple bets? Yeah. If Ehlers is more established, but if Miller, Blake, a few of those guys that are also tied up into these long-term deals reach the level above where they've been, watch the heck out. And then they can go hunting on a second line center and a goalie. I want to be on the hunt. I don't need to be I don't need to be the one pulling the trigger. I could be a guide. I could be the photographer there on your tourist hunting trip. I'll just walk along. I just want to be there for the hunt.
I mean, they've really put themselves in a position that most professional sports franchises want to be in. You have your core locked up, that's still relatively young and are entering their prime years. Your young guys are locked up. You have cap space, and you have future assets and quality ones too, where you can literally do just about anything you want. And you're a contender. Let's be honest, they're a contender. You still got to get past Florida, but you were in the conference final last year. You're a contender,
and you're better now than you were then.
Yeah.
Granted, there was a gap between you and Florida, to be quite frank.
Gap between Florida and everyone right now.
But you're closing the gap. You're better, and they're pretty much the same because they returned pretty much everybody, but they didn't add. It's an exciting time. I'm telling you, it's an exciting time. And actually, there's probably some apologies that deserve to be thrown at the Canes because I am in favor of going all in, but their discipline and patience has allowed them to be in a place now where they really can go in any direction they want. They can read the field, as I say, and take advantage of darn near anything. Hopefully to get a second line center and a goalie.